This is common advice. The common sales advice is if the company is not a local business, meaning it's not a family company where it's... We talk a lot about sales on this YouTube channel, and I wanted to cover today part of this process that we haven't covered too much, which is how do you qualify a lead? Here are the 3 things you need to do to qualify a lead. Let's do it. You can tell I'm serious anytime I bring this whiteboard out. Here we go. How do you qualify a lead? Couple things you need. 3 things, actually. One is you want to make sure they have a need for what you're selling. And the way you do that is you ask about their past issues. For instance, we're selling marketing and lead generation for business-to-business companies at Experiment 27. We help them meet with billion-dollar brands. And on our sales calls, I always ask things, or my team now, our team always asks things like, have you hired a marketing vendor in the past? How did it go? Have you tried cold email before? What do you know about cold email? And the reason why we ask questions like that is to establish a baseline. We're trying to figure out where the client is right now. Do they even know about marketing? Do they know what cold email is? What have they tried in the past? Did they have success with AdWords and now cold email is another channel? Or are they, like most businesses at a certain level, getting all of their leads from referrals and have no predictable way to generate leads? And all of that comes from those questions. It's the same for you. If you're doing custom software development, ask them if they've implemented any software to solve this before. If you're selling software, it's the same exact thing. Let's say you're selling a CRM system, some kind of sales system. You can ask, hey, what are you using right now to track sales? What have you tried in the past? And get those questions to figure out if they have a need. The other part of that is asking not only about past issues, but about the actual need for this right now. So for us, since we generate new clients, we're asking stuff like, what is a new client worth to you? What's your average customer lifetime value? If you're doing custom software, you might ask questions around the software you're trying to build. Meaning, let's say it's a university and they're trying to improve student happiness. You could say something like, what is your student happiness level right now? How are you tracking it? All of those things will give you enough information to figure out, 1, do they have a burning need for this right now? Meaning they'll pay a lot. And 2, how much do they actually care about this problem? Once that is figured out, you can move on. Step 2, budget. All right, the classic thing to figure out, does this client have the money to pay for the thing that you're selling? Well, the main trick that I found to find a budget is being very open about pricing. For instance, when we were running Lorelia, the documentary company, we charged $100,000 for a documentary. And I wrote that right on the site. Here's what is included, here is the price. For X27, we're charging between $4,000 and $12,000 a month, and that's written right on our site. You can go to x27marketing.com and see our entire list of offerings and our entire price list. And if that's changed by now, ping me and ask me why. But I believe, at this point in time, as I'm recording this video, that putting a price on the website and being extremely open and saying your prices on call number 1 and being specific about your prices, not saying things like our apps typically go from anywhere from $20,000 to $180,000. We have to do a proposal and figure it out. Not saying stuff like that, but instead saying, I've seen dozens of apps like this in the past and typically the price is $88,000, but I'm gonna check with the team. Saying things like that, because if they don't have $88,000, that conversation is over, or at least you can start the negotiation process or be ready for the negotiation once you're on call number 2, which is the proposal call. A lot of companies hide prices and they think it leads to more customers. I've found that it leads to you having to go back and forth on sales a lot more negotiation, and typically lower conversion rates. Think about a car listed on a site like CarMax. At CarMax, they just have their car. It's like, hey, this car is $20,158. And it's just a very specific price. And that discourages negotiation. You go into CarMax and you just pay for it. Versus the cars at a used car dealership where it's just written up in marker, or maybe they don't even show the price and they bring it up as you say it. Then you as a customer are a lot more likely to negotiate. And that's how I find budget. Now, let's go over to number 3. The other big thing, how do you qualify leads? So we found out they have a need for what you're selling. We found out they can pay for what you're selling. And now, 3, decision-making power, okay? Decision-making power. This is common advice. The common sales advice is make sure you're talking to the decision maker. Make sure you're talking to somebody that can actually buy from you. Great. What does that mean? Typically, if the company is not a local business, meaning it's not a family company where it's like the grandpa's running it and the dad is behind the counter and the son is in the business, the daughter's in the business too. If it's not that, then the person with the senior title typically has a budget and decision-making power. This is one reason why I deal exclusively with enterprise companies for our clients. It's a lot easier sale because I know, for instance, instance, if I'm talking to the director of marketing at Verizon, that he can pay, right? He has decision-making power. He's not gonna have to pass this up to the CEO. Versus if I'm going to the random hardware store on the street, even if somebody has a director level title, it most likely has to go up to the CEO or the owner. So that's the main way I qualify for decision-making power. I go by past experience and assumptions. The easiest way that I've found, or most scalable way I've found to find decision-making power, and this isn't the most efficient thing, but it's to get burned a lot. So waste your time talking to the young dude who's pretending to know what he's talking about. Just go through that entire process and see and learn for yourself what's going on. Because I have found that you can't really go by the age of the person. Young people do own budgets, old people own budgets. You can't really go by the title of the person in a small company. But in an enterprise company, you can assume that a person that has a certain title has your decision-making power. And that is actually, if you want to watch the video on why I don't sell to local businesses, that flexibility with the job titles where they might not mean what you think they mean, or the budgets are all over the place, all of that nebulousness, there's a word, all of that confusion and that nebulousness is annoying and wastes a lot of time. So that's why I sell to the enterprise. So there you go. That's how you qualify lead. You're looking for need, you're looking for budget, and you're looking for decision-making power. If you get all three of those things and you still screw up, maybe you shouldn't be in sales. Hit me up for a consult and I'll help you if you're getting all this stuff, you're still struggling with sales. There's a link to the consults down below, or go to X27, we can handle all the sales stuff for you and match you with some solid enterprise level billion-dollar brands. Because working with local businesses sucks. Nobody wants to do it. Let's get you a meeting with Sony or Home Depot or something, you know? Let's do it. Hit me up, x27marketing.com. Like this video if you want more of this type of content. Subscribe for more business videos. We do 3 videos a week all about sales and marketing. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. How do you qualify a lead? Is there any info that's missing in this video? Are there any other questions that you have after watching this? Let me know. I'm Alex Berman. See you later.